The Philadelphia Eagles may kick place kicker Alex Henry to the curb when Chip Kelly has to cut the roster down to 53 men later this week, thanks in part to Cody Parkey's performance in the Eagles' 37-7 preseason game number 4 thrashing of the New York Jets, a meaningless game in which most players were kept in bubble wrap. Parkey came in with all the pressure in the world. This makes all the difference in his life. Nails a 54-yard field goal as well as a 53-yard field goal. Now we could all remember losing to the New Orleans Saints in the playoffs. Part of that loss was a 48-yard miss by kicker Alex Henry, who's been disappointing. He's missed a couple field goals already in this preseason, and Parkey, who did miss a 33-yard field goal in the BCS championship game, he had a lot of pressure on him last night because his whole career hung in the balance, and I thought he showed a lot of bravado in making those 2 long field goals. Now, the most important thing about Parkey's game and why he would be an upgrade over Alex Henry, who a lot of people believe will still be on this team at the end of this week, is the distance he gets on his kickoffs. The NFL couldn't have made it any easier for a touchback because of the concussions and the NFL's desire to reduce those high-impact collisions. The NFL has in recent years, moved the line of scrimmage from the 30-yard line to the 35-yard line to help the kickers get touchbacks, but Alex Henry consistently allows teams to return the ball on him. He can't get the ball deep in the end zone, as we saw with Darren Sproles on that kick return at the end of the Saints playoff game. Now, Henry has been kicking it 2 yards deep into the end zone pretty much all preseason, where Cody Parkey led the NCAA college football with the most touchbacks of any player in college football. The one drawback was his percentage. He only kicked around 70-71% and missed a 33-yarder in the BCS championship game. However, I feel he showed he could overcome pressure with his career on the line. Was he ever going to even be an NFL player? Nailing a 54-yard field goal and a 53-yard field goal in front of a surprisingly big crowd in his first NFL debut last night. So let's keep our fingers crossed and hope Chip Kelly goes for it and picks Cody Parkey over Alex Henry. I think Alex Henry could still get a job. I don't wish him any ill will. We really need, with this high-powered offense, to keep the other team starting at the 20-yard line. What I really look back to as my biggest reason was the Minnesota Vikings game last year. Chip Kelly did not have enough confidence in Alex Henry to kick the ball through the back of the end zone in a place called the Homer Dome in Minnesota. We end up giving up 48 points to Matt Castle and the Vikings, who didn't even have Adrian Peterson that day. Why? Because the Vikings were catching these strategically placed pop-up kickoffs and getting great field position, starting around the 40-yard line every time. We've got to get touchbacks. We need Cody Parkey on this team. 54-yard field goal, 53-yard field goal with his career on the line. That's all I need to see. You could always bring a veteran in like Jay Feely, who was cut by the Cardinals, should Parkey not work out early on in the season. Let's go for it. Let's do that. Some other news in this preseason game where the Eagles won 37-7 over the Jets. Michael Vick came back. The Jets put him in for one play. I thought it was a classy move. They took him out after he handed the ball off to Richardson. Just one play, just so he could get an ovation from the Eagles fans. Matt Sims brought a visor onto the field so Vic could walk off in all his glory, and the Eagles fans showed gratitude for what he did in Philadelphia. Also, Matt Sanchez, along with Nick Foles, was kept in bubble wrap this game, as you might expect, as was Geno Smith for the Jets. The fact that they took Vic off the field in one play showed that it's not all over in that quarterback competition. I really think if Geno Smith struggles even a little bit, he'll get the hook. He'll be on a short leash, and Vic will come in and take over that Jets job in New York. The only other thing to say about this football game is Matt Barkley looked pretty sharp. We have 3 quarterbacks that look like they could run this system. Barkley is still prone to throw that interception in the end zone like he did on the first drive last night, but he had over 250 yards passing, and the offense moved very smoothly. We held the Jets to 7 points. Of course, that was with backup players. Maybe the Eagles have some depth, more than the Jets do. And once again, I'm going to reiterate Henry Josie. Do not cut Henry Josie, Chip Kelly. I know that you like Barner because he was a Oregon Duck, and you're giving him every chance to make this team. But Henry Josey looks like an excellent running back. This guy has a feel for the game. He knows when to accelerate, when to wait for his blocks to develop. Every time he touches the ball, something good happens. So Eagles fans clamor for Henry Josey and kicker Cody Parkey to make the 2014 Philadelphia Eagles just that much of a better team.